Welcome back everyone to another episode of Pineleaf Previews, where we are going to be taking a look at the latest build for Bulwarrer, where it looks like they changed the character selection screen for the Hobbits. The Hobbits were the only one of the four basic races that did not have changes to their character selection screen in the last build, so it looks like the Hobbits had their turn on that matter. But now, what will we find when we go inside? The first thing to note is that we now have animations for our fiddles for the Hobbits, so let us see how this plays. That was for the now called student fiddle, because it used to be called the basic fiddle. Now it's called the student's fiddle, which I suppose that's an instrument for those just learning to play the fiddle. I suppose that's appropriate. So therefore, few changes on the fiddle. They were, I could just say, fiddling around with it. The student fiddle is available now at the Bard, which is an appropriate place to have the fiddle available. So I would presume there that the fiddles are now finding their homes of where they can be, which means that the one intended for the anniversary is probably now going to find its way to anniversary vendors. It might still be over at the Isengard, mainly until they have a chance to open up the anniversary event. And then there will be the other two. Where will we get those from, I wonder? I am now on my minstrel and making sure that women can play the fiddle, which was a possibility during the last build. And this is the fourth of the fiddles, the one I did not have a chance to play last time, the Traveler's Trusty fiddle. And let's see how this one sounds, or I guess hear how this sounds. Of course, the animation is not exactly what I would call appropriate, seeing that it is showing her bowing when the sound is obviously pizzicato, which is not a bowing sound on a fiddle, but progress, I guess. And I suspect that they're not going to be able to have different animations for different fiddles, which would be a shame, because showing them plucking at the strings for pizzicato obviously would be a nice touch if it were possible. But that's it for the fiddle for this week. So now let's head on and see what kind of updates we have to the world. One more thing related to the music system is that they did reduce the levels that you need in order to play many of the musical instruments, and that was from the request of all those musicians that go around visiting other servers to play in their bands and stuff like that, and having to worry about getting to some really high levels in order to play the instruments. So therefore they've reduced many of the minimum levels needed in order. For example, the bagpipe is now level 15 instead of level 25, which should help the pipers quite a bit. And the orbo is now also level 15. Now, the pigborn is still at 25, but considering that it used to be 65, I think that is a considerable change over there, and I think that's where I'm looking for, because where I would take you right now is to Raven. Let's see, what's the name now? Let's have a look. Ravenhill. They finally have a nice, proper map for this, because last time they only had stand-in maps, which weren't all very good and all this stuff. I'm trying to see if I could find a way to get to... I think this is Ravenhill right here. Alright. Yes, Ravenhill! Let's have a look inside, because we didn't look at it last time. I don't think they've really changed it much, but since I didn't see it last time, it's going to be all new to me. Hello there! This is Diouf here. Unfortunately, she doesn't have a quest for me, but... well, I think she's feeding Kitty's mother, so therefore... she is getting up there a little bit in age. There you go. Nice and decked out. So yes, I just wanted to say hi to feeding Kitty's mother. And unfortunately, she doesn't have any quest for it. Now, it could be that she will have some if you pick up some earlier parts of the chain, because I'm not going to be doing all the quests within the area yet. I'm saving that for when things go live, and of course I will have a playthrough for that, and we'll get to know her hopefully a little bit better by that time. Now that's quite a fountain. They really know how to build them out in Dale. And is this what's... oh no, that's a tower in the background. Okay. That's right. Is that supposed to be a tower as part of the fountain? No, it's just part of the background. But yes, they know how to build some interesting structures out in the town of Dale. Of course, there's one more thing we need to investigate on the Fiddle, and that's combat. Now, this is just my trusty traveler's Fiddle, which doesn't really have any combat stats on it. So if I were doing anything really serious, then obviously I would be looking for a Fiddle with some real stats on it, because this one just has... well, I don't think it has any stats at all, because if I go here, you have all these Fiddles here. They're essentially designed for anyone to be able to use. Just requires Fiddle use, doesn't require you to be a minstrel, while of course here this harp requires class minstrel in addition to harp use. So therefore it would have stats on it, so the minstrel only once. So I would presume that you can get some minstrel only versions of the Fiddle that will actually have some stats on it, so that we can use it properly in combat. But yes, if you want to, you can use them in combat. The question is where they will add recipes so that you can actually make some Fiddles that will be able to handle this. Actually, maybe that's what I should do here. Yeah, I know, I thought this was going to be the last little bit, but what about my woodworker? Do I have any recipes that work with Fiddles now? Let's get back in a moment on that. I decided to see where I could find a Fiddle recipe. And the only one that I managed to find is right down here the superior Doomfold fiddle recipe, which is morale, power, critical chance on ballads, and coda critical chance. So therefore, that's what we have, and this is similar to many of the other Doomfold instruments that we have available. Now, unfortunately, we don't have much in the way of other types of. Well, we do have a regular Doomfold fiddle recipe also to go with the other regular instruments, but this. What level does this require? Yeah, 115 is the minimum level for the minstrel, and unfortunately my minstrel is not quite up to 115 yet, and I still need to up my woodworker skill on this character because I'm still only at Anorian. But if I want to get a fiddle, I guess that's what I'm going to have to do because I don't see any other recipes yet, though they may be filled in as the beta continues. That is all that we have time for this week. It appears that it was mostly filling in gaps. We didn't have good maps last time. In fact, I don't think I even bothered showing them to you last time because they were just so ugly. But it looks like now that we have some real maps for the new areas. That's good to see. Also, we now have the additional animations for the fiddle that we did not have last time. And I also decided to take a little look at Ravenhill, even though Ravenhill was there last week also. But that is a gap of something that I missed rather than something that was missed by Standing Stone. But of course, I'm sure there is much work to be done still. There are still tweaks to be done, especially along in the questing. And perhaps we can get some fiddle recipes for the lower levels because I don't want my minstrel to have to get to be all the way up to level 115 before she could go and use a fiddle for combat. But that's it for this week, and until next time, this is Pineleaf Noodles reminding you to skirmish responsibly.